Hello, this is my internship experience. As an intern in the Educational Technology Department at the University of Arkansas, I had the opportunity to find a field placement at the Fort Smith, Arkansas Adult Education Center. During my time at the Fort Smith Adult Education Center, I learned various software and technology that is used in adult education, including the Distance Learning Program at the Fort Smith Adult Education Center. I engaged in a variety of activities that included individual tutoring, projects that were related to technology curriculum development, in addition, student assessment using technology. I assisted with instructional media and technology tools in addition to teaching 4 courses. I learned the purpose and how instructional media and technology tools are used at the Fort Smith Adult Education Center. In addition, I learned how to divide these tools into a plan to supplement and complement the technology at the Adult Education Center. Upon completion of the internship, I wrote a paper reflecting upon my experiences as related to my individual internship goals and objectives, in addition to the internship goals and objectives as stated from the University of Arkansas. As an intern, I kept an internship hours log, which listed the date, the hours scheduled, and the hours that I worked every day. And I was required to complete 192 hours as an intern. And by the last day, which was my internship was from January to May. And the last day of my internship, I had completed 227.50 hours. 0.5 hours. It was 227.5, which is 227 and a half hours. And throughout my experience, I learned a lot of different things that I did not really understand before I began my internship experience. This internship experience truly trained me and prepared me for a career in instructional design, a career as an instructional technologist, a career as an educator. For a period of 3 months, I completed my internship at the Fort Smith Adult Education Center as an intern. I completed the task that was set out before me. Whatever the faculty or the staff asked me to do, I did it, and I did it with a smile. And I was very glad to be there each day. The Fort Smith Adult Education Center provides a variety of classes that are available to any adult that is over the age of 18 who is a resident of the greater Fort Smith area. They provide flexible class schedules that provide day and evening sessions to accommodate the needs of their adult learners. I had learned about the Fort Smith Adult Education Center as a TAA, which is Trade Adjustment Act student. I was laid off from Whirlpool Corporation, and I completed my undergrad degree through the TAA program. As a student, during undergrad, I had to attend the Adult Education Center for math courses to refreshen up for my math. And as a student there at the Adult Education Center, I gained a lot of confidence in completing my math courses. And I continued on through to complete undergrad and to excel in the math courses. And so I knew that the Adult Education Center was a place that I wanted to return to as an intern because of the wonderful confidence and the wonderful instruction that I firsthand saw and witnessed. As an intern at the Adult Education Center, it always had a large place in my heart because I had experienced it firsthand as a student. In addition, as an intern, I experienced firsthand and I witnessed the students' drive for success and for a positive change in their lives. And as a member of the Junior League of Fort Smith, I was a literacy committee member, and I was able to participate as a Junior League member outside of my internship to volunteer there and continue to learn about the Adult Education Center. So for the past 3.5 months of my internship, I learned through observation, I learned through assessing everything that I saw. I learned from actually completing assigned works. And in addition, I learned more about how to accommodate the needs of the instructors at the Adult Education Center and their current curriculum. For example, I designed and implemented a technology integration into the ESL U.S. Citizenship course. I observed and assisted the instructors' classes. I taught 4 lessons. In addition to co-teaching digital literacy, I also taught a digital literacy course, which I taught the students about 4 different free keyboarding websites and taught them the basics of keyboarding, just a small bit of, learning how to use a keyboard. In addition, the students learned basic word processing skills. And in the Technology and Career Success course, I taught the students how to use or create an online resume. But first, I taught them how to create a Gmail account for the purpose of job search and sending out resumes and receiving information about different jobs. In addition, I co-taught Windows 7 and some of the other Technology and Career Success courses, the digital literacy courses, and I taught one course in the Introduction to Computers ESL course, which was broken into 2 class sessions. And I learned that technology is the best when it is supplemented and reinforced, and it allows the learner to gain skills that is needed to master a content area. Next, I have my reflection. And as a intern and as an instructional technology student, I learned that an educator has a wonderful, vast, not just a career, but in a sense, being a role model, being an advocate. For example, an advocate is a transmitter of knowledge, a developer, and a nurturer. This person is an advocate of change, of knowledge and communication and learning. And throughout my experience at the Adult Education Center, I learned the importance of becoming an advocate of education. I also learned how to transfer knowledge, and I also learned that as an educator In addition, as an instructional designer, what I learned should not remain with me. I need to ensure that I am instructing other teachers how to use technology. If I am in the classroom and I am an instructor, I need to ensure that my students are learning how to use the technology. I shouldn't have a chip on my shoulder and, telling my students, well, I already know it, so you should. Well, that doesn't help the students at all. That's not the right attitude to have when you are transmitting knowledge. Because when you're transmitting knowledge, you're making a wonderful impact on your students. You're transforming their thinking. You're transforming their thoughts. Their thought process is never going to be the same because you're transforming it in a more positive light. And when you're advocating change, you're advocating it for a better future for your students, for a better tomorrow. You're teaching your students how to be passionate about obtaining their goals, passionate about obtaining additional knowledge, not just to learn inside the classroom, but you're teaching these things to them and transferring this knowledge so they can move past the classroom with this knowledge. And as an intern, I had the opportunity to tutor U.S. citizenship students. And in order for me to do this, I had to learn about the U.S. citizenship process. And that's something that I didn't know prior to becoming a U.S. citizenship tutor. But during this process, it was an humbling experience to tutor each of the students that came into my life. And it was very moving to see how passionate they were about the United States history, their culture, and their American national government. I learned that teaching is a selfless act. Teaching is not just about transferring knowledge, it's about acquiring knowledge. When you're a teacher, you're constantly learning. When you're an instructional designer, you're constantly learning because you're learning to benefit classrooms. You're learning how to benefit education through using technology as a wonderful resource to reinforce or supplement a lesson. I learned that throughout technology use, you don't want to overwhelm a teacher with using too much technology, because when you overexpose a teacher or students, you'll create confusion for that educator or his or her students. Because when you cram a course full with technology, the technology will overshadow the content, and because of this, the transfer of knowledge is not evident. During my internship experience, I learned the importance of considering the course curriculum needs, the content level, the student and the educator's needs, and experience of using technology. In my opinion, educators must care about their students. In addition, an instructional designer must care about his or her students. And when I say students, I mean the educators that he or she is to help. During my internship, every week I kept a blog. And I blogged about my experience, and it housed all my reflections for all 16 weeks of my internship. I created one blog a week. During my internship, I created 3 different projects. I created an instructional software project, which was an online reading software, an integration project that was an audio project, in addition, a productivity software, which was an online orientation. In addition to creating the 3 different projects, I also created 4 different lesson plans, which I also taught.